I'm like, do you think this looks natural?
I know, it's hard to tell.
I don't know. We're just gonna play with it. This is my inaugural things as well as
this is just a test run.
This is our little test run. You can see, oh my god. By the way.
And it's fresh, like chalk white.
Yeah. I could step
really
on
nice
your
color.
I could paint with that.
You literally could.
You could paint with this. Okay, Stan.
Okay.
Tell me about yourself. Tell me about you as a painter. Little quick thing, like if anyone's gonna meet you for the first time, like how do you summarize who you are?
Okay, such a good question. I've probably done it a million times, but now I do not know.
Well, yeah, well, no, and in casual, also, like, I would call it, like, the black curtain whenever I get, like, nervous. And then I have, like, I'm like, oh, God, like, I can't answer this question now. Who the hell
am I? Well, I'm 25 from North Carolina, East Coast, and I just moved to San Francisco in January. Kind of, like, post-grad, what do I do? Where do I go?
Yeah.
And I thought I had like a billion options, and I obviously had a billion. And then San Francisco was not in any of those runnings, or it was never even a spot I considered. And then I ended up here, and I'm so grateful. It's like so nice and motivating, and there's so many creative people, and it completely changed my outlook on everything. Like in just the 3 months that I've been here.
And you came here from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, which I love. And I think we should talk about because I'm an East Coast girl.
Come on, that's where the heart is.
It is where the heart is, and people, we talked about this the first time we met, but people from the East Coast that end up on the West Coast are like my people, because you have people that understand your heritage. It's like such a beautiful vibe, but then have the same values that lead you to the same places. I think, like, I guess going into your art, talk about East Coast beaches, like how did growing up on the East Coast, how did growing up with the birds, like did that make you notice certain things, certain feelings, like kind of how does that shape what you do today?
I'm from like super small beach town, Kill Double Hills, and it's crazy and hectic like a lot of East Coast beaches are throughout the summers, and there's so much like beauty, and it's amazing, and obviously that's why everybody comes to check it out. But then the winter time is like exactly this. It's like gray and gloomy, and the ocean's huge.
And I love that you say that, because I texted you this before we did this today, but I was like, I feel like this gives like opposite coast, same feeling, like this was meant for you. Like
100%.
I felt you when I came here.
Yeah, and it's like overwhelming power. You're like, oh my gosh, like you'd be swept away immediately out there, like thrown against the rocks,
which is like delightful.
Yeah,
it's like, as we earlier were like wet because we were getting into it.
Yeah,
it's like the best feeling.
It's like such a huge reminder that you are so tiny in the grand scheme.
Yeah,
like, this will consume me. And then it's also like, it's such a good thing to be consumed by.
Yeah.
So wintertime in the Outer Banks would always be like so peaceful and solemn, and it's just you and nobody else on the beach, and that's where you find like the beauty in it. And that's where I like became obsessed with the birds and picking up whatever washes up on the beach and all that. And then being able to bring that into every season of my life now.
Yeah.
Like growing into it and like realizing that's where the peace is, and being able to carry that in June and July or like any other hectic season I have.
Okay, I really like that, because I've been doing a lot of work to like reconnect my intuition.
Yeah.
And like constantly, like I think there's just so much noise, there's so much input, like day-to-day life, phone, social media, everything we have now, that sometimes I feel like I like wasn't made to live in this world, you know what I mean? And so I like art, and I always come back to like, how do we create art to like reconnect ourselves to our value systems and things like that. So I think you saying like carrying the piece through, I like love that through line.
Like grabbing hold of it again. And same with, I feel like in the ocean and like looking at the ocean, being in it, any of those things, and the act of creating are both like the closest you'll get to the creator. Like you're all the way involved.
It feels like God.
Yeah.
Lowercase g, uppercase g, whatever it is, like it does. And I've said for years, like when I moved out here, I was pretty sure I was going to move into a beach town, like warm, small town beach town. And then I came to visit San Francisco, and like the artist community, the people, the whole vibe, I was like, I have to live here, and I can make it a beach town. Like one non-negotiable was I have to live near the ocean, because exactly what you said, like I need it to make me feel irrelevant. Like I need to remember like how inconsequential my life and my being is in like a really beautiful way.
Yeah, literally. And then if you're inconsequential, or like, then just imagine the goofy decision that we spend so much time weighing over, like any little thing. Every time I make a decision, I act like it's the world's ending.
Yeah, because it feels like that. Okay, wait, but it feels like that, but it's really easy to like, yeah,
every time.
Especially when you were saying like you had every option to go anywhere and you ended up out here. I was thinking that like the weight of that responsibility of being in your like mid-20s. Have you ever read Sylvia Plath or heard of The Fig Tree?
Oh yeah, I think about it all the time.
Yes, because then it's so true, and it's like, oh no, I'm being suffocated by the like variety of beautiful options I have in my life. But it's so true and it's so real, and it's like the biggest thing too is I'm working on intuition, but also in my art and in my life, opening up happens chance for like the universal intervention. Yeah. Right. So like everything. Like to be led. Yes, exactly. So it's like instead of controlling picking the fig tree, just letting the fig drop.
Yeah, and
like picking up, and seeing if it fits, and if it doesn't fit, going to the next one.
And like being happy with whatever, like being happy with what you have for a little while, and then when you're ready to put it down, then see what else you might want.
Yeah, the gratitude
instead of like holding on to what you have and like looking around, like what if I want that? What if I want that? And watching every ripe fig fall.
And I struggle
which
with
is my problem.
Wait, okay, yeah, I was gonna do that, and I also struggle with thresholds. Like I struggle with beginning and end of anything. So even if I know that it's right, or even if I can feel that intuitive pull, like I fight it for as long as possible to just stay where I am because it's like comfortable and whatever it is. But then like obviously I talk a lot about the life cycle, which is that like death feels the closest and everything feels the worst right before like new life is born, because it's like you have to let old parts of yourself in your life die to like become new and keep growing. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't come with like the grief of loss. Yeah. So you maybe make the right decision, or right quote, there's no right or wrong, but like you move towards one that feels more right for you, and it can feel so horrible and you're like, this can't be the right decision, like I'm so 100%. Sad about it. But it's so big and it's so important.
That's what I felt right when I got to the West Coast, because I was in Santa Cruz for like a month and a half before I came up here, and I mean it's beautiful and amazing and like sweeping landscapes like this, but just not as much going on as I needed. Because if I wanted small, solemn beach town, like I could have stayed home for sure. So I was like consumed with, did I make the right decision? What am I doing? What do I do? Yeah. And then it was like red carpet rolled out to move here, and I was like, all right, well, let me try this out.
Okay, but even going back to your time in Santa Cruz, from like the one conversation we've had about it, is like that's when you started to paint again, really.
Yeah, is like that's like when I dove right back in, and I put so much time into it, and it was such an easy outlet because I was obviously there's so much anxiety involved with, did I make the right decision? What do I do? I have so much free time. Like, who even am I? Because all I know is who I am when I have like the biggest packed social calendar and I have 100 friends to call and all these things to do. Yeah. And so I had to,
it can be really scary,
lean back into whoever that was.
And it's like, who am I outside of the context of the conditioning of who I've been my whole life? And like, you leave your hometown for the first time and you realize like, whoa, like how much was just comfort and convenience, and because I had already dug out the grooves, and how much of that actually fit with me. And if I'm sitting here at this alone time and I feel the weight of all of these different options, what am I going to choose? What am I going to put energy into?
It's like the crisis of having all the choices again. Like if you don't have the options, then you'll never be like stressed about whether or not you're choosing the right one. Yeah. And I was blank slate, like fully the decider. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to pick the right one. Yeah. Sylvia,
which is so untrue. Yes, Sylvia, please.
Which fig?
No, I know. And it comes with anxiety though, but I think too, like, did you feel like excitement and relief and like kind of the tinglings of like whatever this new life is going to be too, or was it mostly just like, fuck, what am I doing?
I like knew, I didn't have any doubt that I was in the right spot. It was like writings on the walls. It was there for me and it was obvious, and I felt it. And I've moved places and been like, get out of here. What are you doing? Like, this isn't for you. Yeah. But when I was there, I never had that. I was like, I'll see about where to go from here, but I know that I'm here by design. Yeah. It wasn't an accident.
You have like the trust. It sounds like you have a pretty strong intuition, or like whatever 100%. That, like I call it, I'm talking to my stomach. Yeah. Like I'm talking to my stomach now. Like I'm going on walks. I'm like having quiet time. I'm talking to my stomach.
Yeah. I definitely do. And I had to work on it so much.
I was going to say, does that like come naturally, or is that something like you do with practice?
I used to always be overcome with anxiety making decisions, and I still feel it, but now it's more of a gratitude lens where I'm like, what a blessing it is to have these two wonderful options.
Yeah.
And then and it was all repetition in my head. It would be like, you don't want to make the wrong decision. And then I would write it down all the time too. Like, there's not a wrong decision. There's one decision.
You just need that repetition sometimes.
Like, you choose one and that's the decision. There's no like, did I choose the wrong thing? No, you just picked one. And it's always right, because you'll never get to test the other theory.
And it doesn't matter. And like, I think that I turned 28 next month, and like, not that much older, but like in the years of 20s, like, you go through a lot of growth from 25 to 28. 100%. Like, I honestly don't envy you. Like, no. I love who I am now. I love who I'm continuing to become. I am like specifically very introspective by like nature, and I'm obsessed with like this soul growth, and like can't just let it go to a fault, where I'm like unwell sometimes. But I do think like, cute.
That's awesome.
I love that. I saw a duck out here earlier that had like 2 babies with her, and they were like jumping in the water.
Really?
Really sweet. Yeah.
It's so cute.
But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, but
like being 28 versus 25.
Yeah, it just gets better. I think you just get better, and you just like the world. I mean, you hope that as you get older, everything continues to get better. I honestly don't ever want the struggle of learning and growing to stop, because I think that's when I start to feel stagnation is when I start to panic.
Yeah. Which
stagnation and peace and boredom all kind of live in the same world.
They do.
And can be a good thing to let in, but also it's like finding the balance of like contentment and peace of yourself, and always trying to grow and learn and be different.
That is such a tricky thing to go back and forth about, like enjoying what you have versus like, I need to get better at this, or I need to progress in this field, or this is my passion, so I need to go all in on it, or whatever.
We're so black and white, and especially with like, especially with art, we've talked about this before, but like the second you have an art or like a creativity or a creation or whatever, you start to, and the world starts to be like, how can you monetize this?
Yeah.
Like, how can you create capital out of this, and how can this become your full-time job? And that like shifts the lens. So I think like you obviously have been having some great success because you have beautiful artwork that I love. And how do you keep it, motivated by your feeling and like what you want to capture and preserve? I guess too, like getting more into your art on top of this is like, when you started painting again, were you painting these types of paintings before ever in your life? And like you just kind of like reintroduced it, or is this like a new thing? And are you searching for like a feeling, or do you have a feeling in flow state when you do it? Or is it just like, or do you lay in bed at night and see these pictures and have to get them out? Like what is kind of your process?
Yeah. I've always painted. Me and my brother and my Nana, we'd go to her house and paint all the time, and she'd grab just 2 canvases, and me and him would paint, and she would rotate back and forth. Like whenever one of us would be like, I don't like how it's going or something, she would hop over and like do a couple adjustments and be like, all right, well, look at it this way, or try this. And then we'd keep painting and have a blast. And so I have a bunch of those.
So it's in your blood too.
Yeah, like we always did that.
I think having like an adult figure cultivate and like be intentional about art time too. Because I think my parents are both lawyers. My brother's an engineer. I don't have like a very like artistic family.
No.
So not to say that all they are not completely supportive of me being this little weird artist feeling soul girl, but I didn't have this like figure of someone saying like, hey, this is really important.
Yeah, like this is worth your time.
Especially now when we all go through kind of the mill that is like high school, getting in college, like APs, productivity equals worth equals capitalistic success.
That is the like resounding belief too, and the feeling. And it is like there's so much truth to it.
Yeah.
Like there's happiness and like financial freedom. Luckily too, in my recent, I've had a job, so I'm comfortable. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Like having an air of desperation can definitely contribute to creation, but I think for how I do it, it would probably ruin it. So it's nice to have this, like being able to create at whatever rate I want to, and then being able to sell it and monetize when I feel like I should, and when there's enough demand. And if someone's like, because I do think you should have pretty things in your house, and if people are wanting something that I'm making, that's so validating, and they can totally have it.
And just sharing, I'm sure, like the way that I feel is like when I take pictures or whatever I'm doing, like if I can make somebody else feel something, it feels like the most important thing in the world. But obviously I have a job too, so I come from that same place of it's not feast or famine. It's not I either create and I eat or I don't. You know, I have the work-life balance of, and I think a lot of people, I went through many years of like, I have to become an artist. I feel so passionate about this. I have to do work that I feel passionate about. Yeah. But that can like consume you and it changes everything. And I think it's okay to have a day job.
And it changes what things you're putting out. Like I even got swept up in like demand, I guess, in the past 2 months, and I found myself painting like the same handful of things that I knew would sell or I knew would get commotion on social media or something. And I, like over the last month, I put a pause to it just because I was like, what are you doing? Like,
but that's so natural.
Like this isn't new. And it's nice. Like I have like paintings that I love and I'm like, I'll try these in 5 different colors before I'll give it up and do different shapes. But I had to do like a hard reset and be like, all right, like one weird thing that just hits you in the head as you're painting a week, like firm rule, no more.
I like that.
So now I'm tapping back into the weird, because
the weird, and that's like where it all came from. Faces, like you had like 1 or 2 pictures of the faces, and I was like, and my mom, I was showing my mom your art when I was home because I was like, this is my new painting friend, and he's from the East Coast, whatever. And she was like, oh my god, I love those. So I think you get, you also never know what's gonna hit where and like what's happening behind the scenes and who's seeing your art and who needs
what the people are looking for.
And I think there's that. I really believe in like collective creative consciousness. Well, I believe in collective consciousness in all people, right? Like these themes seem to come up at the same times, but especially creatively. And like you mentioning Florence and the Machine earlier. Yeah. Like I on the way here was like, I need to tell Stanton that I've been listening to this album because it feels like this right now, like it all is connected. So I think that if you're having an idea and like you're wanting to paint something and like really listening to that intuitive voice, that's gonna resonate with other people. Yeah, like because we're all in it together. We're needing that.
The mycelium,
totally.
Like the trees.
I talk to whenever I like am having a brain anxiety moment. I'm like, I need to go talk to the trees.
It's time. We need to hear what they have to say. It's always a lot.
Yeah, I guess like last little bit is color schemes. Like, would you say? I feel like you use similar colors, or you like play with different ones and you do different variations. Is that come from home? Like, are you pulling colors from like North Carolina? Do you have like favorites? What's influencing?
I feel like I'm always tied to blue, just no matter what. Just the sky, the ocean. It always comes kind of back to that. And then one thing I always do is I pick one. Like I just do the primary colors. Like those are the colors that I buy. And then I'll make like one big color and I'm just kind of like going for it, adding a little bit of blue, some red, some yellow. And that'll be the background or the base color. And then from there, I always will just keep adding some blue or red to get to the other like complementing colors. And I think that always helps me like have a painting that agrees all the way. Well, because the colors are like the same, but obviously shaded, like the shades are pulled and then
you're using color theory. You're like, are you using color theory? Like, when you're painting, are you intellectualizing it at all, or is it all feeling?
It's definitely feeling. I would have a hard time even describing color theory.
No, I don't know it. I don't know it either, but I trust my like taste, right? And my curation. I'm like, oh, I like these things together. And I think if I've considered like every person in their 20s. I'm like, oh, should I go to grad school? Should I do this or whatever? And I'm like, no, I really like the intuitive pull and connection to everything, and I don't want to over-intellectualize it.
I think so too. And I paint so like fast and free that if I throw up a color and then I hate it, I'm like, get rid of it immediately. Well, I can't even wait for it to dry half the time.
I was gonna say that about you earlier is something that I thought was really cool that you mentioned the first time we hung out was how you were not creating for like selling. So you were just painting over canvases and over canvases. And it actually created this like depth 100%. Of color and of everything that you loved. And I think, and you were like, I'm trying to figure out how to not rush through things, but also to create for demand and still have that depth and everything. I just thought that was a really interesting point. Like,
and it's weird right now because sometimes I always go into it like this doesn't have to be the final product. It doesn't matter. And sometimes it won't, and it seems like I'll never get there on a canvas. It'll be like 4 or 5 deep, and then I'm finally like, okay, like leave it alone. I like this. And then sometimes recently, because now I'm trying to create some like multiple paintings, I'll do one and be like, I love this. Like I'm obsessed with these shapes. This is exactly like something I want to keep around for a little while. Yeah. And then that's where it gets tricky, because now I'm like sacrificing the texture layers, and there's not going to be like 3 or 4 paintings underneath it.
Yeah.
So then that's been my recent battle. Like,
is it
to go from here.
You can just maybe keep that as like a prototype to refer back to. I guess it's another thing. Are you painting from observation, imagery, gut feeling? Like, is it you're closing your eyes and painting, or is it you're like, I saw something, I feel inspired, I'm gonna paint?
Yeah, it's mostly, it is like tons of things that just come to my head. Obviously, sitting out somewhere like here, you see the birds moving and you see shapes, and
I know, I wish I could like pan up right now to this.
Like, this is perfect. Like, some of the shapes are gonna get lost as they're like further away into the fog, and so things like this is where I pull a lot. Like, at least twice a week, I'll go down with my little sketch pad and get a coffee from Equator where we went, and then I'll just doodle, no phone, you live in and just watch the birds.
Yeah.
And
dude, I've been keeping my phone off in a drawer. I had my phone off in a drawer for 4 days.
Yeah.
Right, because I didn't text you back. Yeah, but it breeds. I mean, boredom has always bred the most in touch creativity, which I think we lack a lot in society now.
100%.
Okay, I think also one other thing I wanted to ask was, I have been doing a lot of research too on like self-research, books, reading, whatever, soul searching on the purity of creativity, in the sense of like, how do I, because I want to share it, especially like my creation is like conversation, curation, like pictures or capturing whatever, but it's not as much like here's like a physical product.
Yeah.
So I've been like kind of meandering with like, what are the steps and what do I create and how do I want to explore that? But I guess like, do you have a process? Like, how do you know when you're ready to share something on social media with other people? Like, how, for you, is it like, okay, I like this, I'm gonna, or like, well, because okay, sorry, I'm meandering too, is what the thing that drew me to you originally, because I really love, is art at like the art of the creation of art. Yeah. Which is like, you share a lot of your process, and here's what I'm doing, and here's how I paint. Do you worry, or do you ever feel like that takes away from a little bit because you're like over analyzing it?
I think it's that it makes sense to overanalyze it, and I kind of, now that I've had like such validating seasons of my life through painting and having some success in it, and then I've had so many people come to me like, you've inspired me to get back into creating or get me back into painting, or whatever it looks like. How does that feel to you?
Like, what is that? Tell me what that does in your body.
Because I know, like, I would freak out if I couldn't, and I'm not even just painting, but like singing in the car, like coming over here singing, or like dancing around the house, or like going on a weird run, or going like being out till 2 a.m. at the bar, like dancing like crazy. Like,
just freedom.
That all is like expression to me, and it's so crucial. And like fun conversation like this, like it's all rooted in creation and creativity.
No, I'm gonna leave this smiling for like 2 days. Like, these conversations are like, and when we hung out the first time, or like last time too, like
it feels so good.
It feels so good, and you're like going through everything. And I think this is collaborative creation. Yeah. Like, this is collective creative consciousness. This is collaborative creation. This is like, I agree with you completely. I always say like, dancing is so important. If I'm not going out, if I'm not dancing, if I'm too like protective of my time and space, like, that's wrong. Yeah. That's too bad. Like, there's not something good happening. I think the word weird, I love that you said going on a weird run. Yeah. Because I like
just wherever you feel like you need to go, take a left, take a right.
Which is the only way I run, by the way. Yeah. And I didn't know, and I'm actually off Strava now because I found I can't be allowed to have external validation. Is like, I struggle with it. So, but I only found out that other people didn't run that way when I started using Strava, and my friends were like, what the fuck are you doing on your runs? And I was like, wait, at every intersection, I just decide where I want to go. Yeah. And I thought, I just didn't know. I thought everyone did that.
No, they definitely don't at all. But it's important to find somewhere that you've never been. I don't know. But it has been this past season, it has been unique with the external validation and things like that, just because it is like, I am selling things for kind of the first time, like, for real. Yeah. But it's also been easy to do, like, thanks to having a job and like being whatever I am, then I don't have to, I'm not worried too much about like someone liking it or someone buying it.
Totally.
And so I think this is another thing I would always write down. Like, there's no disappointment without expectation. So over the past like 2 or 3 years, I've been really trying to limit any expectation, because you're just kind of setting yourself up. I don't think that everyone's going to let you down, but I do think the more
I
you
love
like
this.
anticipate someone to give you, or the more you anticipate from other people, like you're bound to be let down. So if you treat everything completely as a gift and like just have gratitude for anything given, then your life just becomes like so happy and grateful, and you're like overwhelmed with joy all the time.
Well, and it's like, and you know, me and my friends are very on the gratitude lens, and like all of my, I would say the year is like the last like 2 years is the beautifully mundane for me. Like I'm just, and I think that'll continue to be my entire life, career in art, honestly, is people, the sun, the grass, nature, laundry. Like I'm just obsessed with like rituals and meaning in the everyday. Like I think especially, just in the world we lived in is so zoomed out. It's so, what's the entire world doing everywhere, everything all at once. And then when really, if you can just like zoom, this is where the no phone comes in. If you can like zoom into your life and be like, whoa, like every single day I get to experience these things. There's this like piece of writing that I'm gonna butcher, and I also don't know where it came from. I like spend a lot of time on Pinterest, but it genuinely is like, today I woke up in a house full of people that I loved, in a city that I love, and the sun was shining and whatever. And you know, it's just like, and tomorrow I'll do the same. And then I'll go to bed and tomorrow I'll do the same. And I'm like, that's all I need. And the second I shift from that and I start to need more and more and more, and like ego validation, external validation, whatever it is, everything goes to shit.
It's like a booby trap.
It's such a booby trap.
You like keep looking, and then you're just trained to look. And
you'll never stop looking. And it's like 2 feet on the ground. I've been saying that to myself all week, is 2 feet on the ground. And I think I love conversations like this too, because everything we learn is on a circle, right? And you just forget those things and always end up back at those things. And the like expectation of other, and or like anytime I felt frustration or disappointment or whatever, is because it was the gap between what I had expected to happen, what I wanted to happen, and what actually happened. And I can't control that. I have control issues as well. So
absolutely. It comes with a little bit of anxiety. You have to. The circle thing is so true too. Like there's so many seasons of my life where like I was telling somebody 2 days ago on the phone, like I'm having to relearn this all over again, like being patient or whatever it looks like. And it's like, I thought I mastered this like senior year of college or something like that.
You're never going to master anything.
Like I just regress in some things, progress in others, and then I eventually will find a happy medium.
And then I think
something else will falter.
No, literally. And then I think too, you like come back on the circle and you're like, each time you're like, oh, I've actually been here before. And I recognize it. And it's, the rope is a little bit closer each time to pull you back in, you know? So it's like, it does feel a little bit like a yo-yo, like you're never going to learn these things, but I do think you learn them differently and you meet them differently. I'm all about conditioning and context, and like in the meaning. This is what I like to in art, is whatever I share is shared without any sort of expectation, because, you know, take what you need, leave what you don't. And the context in which it meets you is completely different. So the second it leaves me and it goes through your conditioning, it's a completely different thing that you now own. Now it's yours, and it's your feeling, and the way that you bring it in and what you've taken from it is completely different from how I created it and what I see when I see it. And even when I take in art, I meet different books and different pieces of art over my entire life. I come back to them and notice, like I'm a really big book annotator. I reread books, and what I annotate is so different than what I annotated before.
That's so interesting.
And then I noticed I was like, oh, I forgot that I was even going through that. You know, it's such a cool way to kind of like remember, because I think a lot of art, and because a lot of film photography, a lot of picture taking is memory keeping too. So I feel like I'm constantly trying to remember everything.
That is so true. Coming to it differently every time. I put every painting up on my wall, not every single one, but if I am on the fence about it and I know I could potentially like it, it has to go on my wall for at least a week. So I'll see it every day, and then I'll either despise it and yank it down on day 3 and get rid of it. If I like it by the end of the week, I'm like, all right, you can stay.
Wait, that's so real. And that's how I feel. I was actually just submitting some film for a photo show at PhotoWorks, which is the film studio by my house, which you should come to the party if you're not out of town. We'll talk about later. But I was going through my film and I was asking some friends about it, because I was like, I am so accustomed to this film that I hate it all. There's like 5,000 film pictures that I'm obsessed when I take. I love them or whatever, but I've spent so much time in there and like with them that I was like, I have no subjective feeling towards them anymore. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to pick it for a film show, and I've seen them on my social media or whatever it is. Like, repetition really creates disdain, which is or like love. But I was thinking about that yesterday too. One of the photos I submitted was of my dad drinking a cup of coffee, because the theme was rituals, and I was like, wow, you know, like I actually wasn't gonna pick this picture. All of my friends saw it and were like, this is a really moving and meaningful picture.
Yeah.
But it just feels so normal to me. It's like every lens, you know, I'm obsessed with the beautifully mundane, but sometimes the things that are closest to us, we just take for granted. So I think it's so cool. And then I was thinking, like, you know, in 20 years, I'm going to be able to look back on my life and have this, like, really crazy catalog. And, like, I wonder what pictures are going to stand out to me then from this time period now in comparison
That's gonna be so special to look back at too.
Yeah.
And I love that you'll like take what your friends have to say into consideration, because I do think if you have like friends that you value, and like obviously there's creation and doing it on your own, but having friends that you value and getting to bounce off of them, like I think that's the way.
Yeah, it was like a perfect 50-50 split. I was like, one picture I'd already known I was going to do. I submitted 3 pictures. One picture I knew I was going to do. The 2 other ones, the one of my dad, everyone was like, do that. And then everyone said also this like yoga picture or something. And I was like, no, I'm doing this one of the laundry. You know, so I'm like, okay, my intuition feels strong on. This I actually wouldn't have picked, but now that you guys are saying it, I am feeling that tug there.
There's a duck with her mom, with her little babies.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Wait, that's the same one. I think they've just been like going around. I have a really cute video of it too. I'll send it
This
to
is
you.
their home.
I will. I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's what a beautiful duck and baby way to end. And
that's so good. Now we'll have our bird poop all over our butts.
No, all over my jeans, all over my feet. Wait, please. I'm sure.